Hello and welcome to episode 376-ish of the DCP Plus SideQuest podcast. This week we got a ton to talk about. We got the new Onslaught game mode in Destiny.
It's not here yet, but it's coming.
Well, it's coming, but we know about it.
we know
thought about it.
We know
we
what
thought
it
we
is.
knew. Yeah, we thought we knew last week, but this week we know.
We know. Yes, this is true.
And we know of other things we're gonna know.
What if they know we know? What if we know they know we know? They don't know we know?
That's kind of where we're at right now.
Really good. I appreciated that stream a lot.
Yeah.
I want to know, how did you watch the stream, Watts? Was it through the main Bungie channel or a different method?
Yeah, I watched it through the main Bungie channel.
Gotcha. Yeah, my only thing with it, I thought it was a great stream too. Specifically, Noah up there, the associate activity designer, was so into it and like felt so fresh. Him being there and just giving us a good show. Honestly, like showcasing everything. It was really fun to watch. Just the Twitch chat was like, oh my gosh, like I regretted being on Bungie's official one. I was like, I should probably go somewhere else to watch this because of all the like just terrible stuff.
Like
watching Destiny streams with another streamer is generally like the best way to watch it, because you get to have just like a curated community experience.
Yeah.
Rather than just like everyone who's going there to be assholes.
Yeah. I think that they're gonna remedy that on the next stream, because they got 3 streams. This was kind of like the first one, and afterwards they came out and said a lot of stuff later that was really cool. And one of those things was like, hey, we're gonna like take care of all this stuff that's going on and make sure, put in preventative measures so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, which I should go ahead and say, since we're on the topic, there was just a whole bunch of like hateful racist stuff that came through, not through the Twitch chat, but through like at one point the screen got minimized while they were playing, and it wasn't anybody's fault. It was like a Windows error, and through that they could find the Steam name of Noah while he was playing, and so they like started adding him, like would change their name to hateful stuff and then add him as a friend, and it was showing up in the chat. And anyways, that was awful. Everybody kind of banded together. I feel like you could view this as like, oh, the D2 community, but I don't think Noah didn't view it that way. The D2 teams account, like they were like, we know this is a small portion of people. And even the Destiny community themselves, like on Reddit, the most crazy upvoted thing was like, Noah was awesome. Like this was so cool.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, and Noah came out and said, I kind of like quoted some of it here. He's like, I wanted to be there. I wanted to talk to y'all. I hope I can do it more in the future. Like he was pumped to do it. And that was really cool to see him follow up with that. And the D2 Teams account came out and was like, we tracked down all the hateful messages and where they came from and banned their accounts from Destiny 2.
Good. Fuck those guys.
Good. Yeah. And they will want to play again. So they'll either have to steal an account or spend more money.
Yep.
I mean, even if we could just inconvenience those dirty racists.
Yes.
Good. Like whatever you can do.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty excited about this game mode. Like new game mode in Destiny. I like Lego, you said before that we were talking a little bit before the show started, and you said that Noah said that he was 13 when he first saw like a Bungie live stream. And I was like, oh man, that actually gets me really excited, because what does Destiny need? It needs some fresh, new ideas and stuff like that. And I think hopefully Onslaught is going to be one of those, and really feel like a new way to get into the Destiny universe and, play around with some Destiny guns, but also some new tools.
Yeah, hope so.
Totally agree. And it's cool how they like utilize like in all the Bungie Twitch comments was all like recycled content and stuff. But I think it's cool how, like so many people from Bungie just got laid off. Like they're trying to get ready for Final Shape, and yet they managed to pull together this free event that we don't have to pay for, that is kind of like taking the place of where Final Shape would be. And they've like redone Midtown, the Crucible map, to where it's got like the pyramid ships coming in. And it just looks like entirely different. And then on top of that, added like new mechanic, like repurposed basically what was the season we had the menagerie and you could like donate stuff to get
Yeah.
your little trophies in that room. I can't remember the name of the room, but someone's gonna say it in chat as soon as I can't remember. But they like repurpose that way of doing things like into a PvE mode where you can like call up turrets and the sweeper bot even, which I'm really curious what the sweeper bot upgraded is
Yeah,
gonna
I think
do.
that's
What if
great.
it's like a ninja, you know?
I hope he goes ham.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
agree that like the final shape got delayed. So I do want them to be working on the final shape for
Sure.
everything. So I think it's really cool that they've been able to repurpose assets that they already have to create a new experience in Destiny. So I think it wouldn't be beneficial to us or Bungie if they put a bunch of resources into making a brand new thing when they're clearly like scrambling to get final shape out the door. So I see this as just like, hey, if you're playing Destiny and you're waiting for June to come around for the final shape, this is going to be a great thing for you to do that's fresh and you get to get some new returning loot.
Yeah. I hope it's fun though. Like I'm really hoping that this is like a fun new way to play Destiny. I don't expect it to be built out like something like I can't remember the name of the game mode now. Gambit.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't expect it to be built out like something like that. But like if it's popular and if people like it, like maybe the future is bright for a game mode like this, or like an idea like this to come back in the future for Destiny.
Yeah, it's kind of like a miniature tower defense mode almost.
Yeah, I love tower defense. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest. Like I love that idea, like just like setting up all my like little gadgets just so it just mows things down and I can just watch.
It'll be interesting to see how that all interacts with, all the crazy space magic stuff we have in Destiny. Like, how is that going to interact with all the things we set up, and how are those things together going to change the way we fight mobs? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I like some of the concepts too of like choosing, your own path in there. You get this material called scrap, and you can get more of it if you're healing your home base, basically, that you're trying to defend. And then you can choose to use that scrap to upgrade different things. And it just sounds interesting. I'm curious to see how it all unfolds. I think it feels like they got the idea from, or at least they saw how the initial impressions to, what did we have this season with the super long run where it gets harder every escalation? I'm just blanking because I haven't played PvE in a while. But it like we had such a good reaction to that they were like, oh, we can make this a super long activity and bring it up and keep going to these different levels, but also have like a shorter version of it. And the match made one is like 10 rounds and that's it. And then you can go 50 rounds if you want to. So I'm excited to see like how it all plays out, which one I prefer, all that kind of stuff.
And every 10 rounds in the 50 rounds one, it's going to be getting more difficult and you're going to be accumulating more loot. So
the coil,
good
yes.
stuff.
There you go. Thank you. Tribute Hall and the coil.
We're
I'm
all
blanking on
old
everything.
and we can't remember anything. So thank you guys.
Yes.
It's terrible.
That's why I have a notebook for these games I play because I need to note it down.
I can tell you that
TTK the other day and I was at home.
I do that all the time. Oh, well, okay. I've done that before though. Like if I've been in a hurry, especially, and I'm parking somewhere, you just park and then you leave and then you come back and you're like, well, I don't even know what floor I'm on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm a huge fan of that little feature on iPhone that says, we just put a pin where you park just because you're a moron. Just FYI. We got your back. We know.
That's awesome.
We know you looked up your wife's phone number 3 times yesterday.
That's great.
And with the live stream, we didn't get a whole lot of the weapon stuff. That is next live stream, which they talk about a little bit about in the TWA, but we did get to see the Midnight Coup just right away. Tefty, where are you? I know you can hear this.
Tefty.
You got a coup, bro?
I'll finally get one. And then maybe there's Hung Jury, somebody saw that drop, and also Luna's Howl is supposedly coming back. It was in the artwork that they showed off today in the TWAB, but people are like, is it Luna's Howl? Could it be
I
Lord
think
Highfixer from D1?
it could be.
Oh.
I think they're gonna bring Mountaintop, Recluse, all of it back. I think it's all
I think
coming
so.
back through Into the Light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's kind of confirmed in a way because they on the like Eververse calendar, you could see that the ornaments for them all were coming back, and now that we've seen Luna's Howl, it's like, okay, like they're gonna bring them back.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm excited and scared all at the same
Yeah,
time.
nerf versions, you think? Or you think they'll be the original versions?
Really don't know. There's such an emphasis on crits now in the Crucible specifically that, and in PvE even, like we've got destabilizing rounds and volatile rounds, and something like Recluse doesn't seem as crazy when we've got Onslaught, all these perks, not the game mode, the perk that make you shoot really fast. And so there's all this different stuff. I don't know. I feel like it would be interesting to see what they would come back in their original state as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lego, you weren't on last week, so I'd like to hear what you have to say about, or what you've thought about, like the new kind of Crucible.
Oh yeah,
I don't know, the whole package here.
I'm actually really digging it. Like, and it's funny because people are like, "Oh, the fusion rifle crutches are gonna finally get what's coming to them." But I like genuinely, I was playing a game of. So here's how I feel about it. I like have not enjoyed quick play for a very long time. Like
Yeah.
I love playing threes. I'll play Rumble. I like Trials too. But the chaos of exactly the problem they described that they're trying to fix, of just not knowing what the heck happened to you and not being able to prevent it, that was the reason I just did not like playing sixes. And now, I can go in there and play, and like everybody starts with those 2 rounds. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't show you when the other team gets special ammo spawned to them. I'm not a fan of that, because it's weird because I want to know when I can push and there's not going to be a shotgun in my face. There's just no way to know what the enemy team has sometimes. And that's frustrating for someone who likes to really plan out their attack against the other team. But overall, like Trials this last 2 weekends really were just so much fun. I ran double primary the first weekend with both of the new weapons, the Summoner and the Prophet. Got the new Scout Trials to drop and was loving just the back and forth of both of those. And then the second weekend, I used a fusion rifle and I used a shotgun and a sniper. I tried it all, and they all felt good in their own way. So I was having a blast, honestly. Like, it was really fun. I know they're gonna address the auto rifle meta in the TWAB here in a second, but I didn't really mind it either. Like, I ran a sidearm the whole time, and I just played in the lanes that worked for me. And yeah, I hand cannons were really good for those who were good at hand cannons. They were still really good this past weekend. It was just a good time. I'm glad that no one has found some broken exotic that is unfun to play against yet. So maybe that's around the corner, but I'm having a good time right now.
You just jinxed it.
Yeah. I have definitely found something broken. I've talked about it enough on this podcast. I'm not going to mention it again, but I fully expect for one day somebody to catch on to the perk that I've been using for weeks now, but nobody has yet. So great.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
we got another live stream next week on March 26th.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Did they tell what they're going to talk about?
Weapons, I believe.
Yes.
This coming.
Well, there's more than that, because in the TWAB they said, so it's the weapons, the Brave Arsenal weapons, and then this is the part that I wanted to ask you all about. A new social space plus few rewards. What is that?
I don't know. I was very surprised seeing new social space.
It really could be like anything. Like, it could be the farm, it could be the tower rebuilt, but it feels like they would save that for final shape. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Why do we need
Very
a new
curious.
social space?
I've got no idea.
Maybe they're adding player housing, so we need a new social space for our houses.
We can decorate our apartment. I can finally get that nice couch that I always wanted to put in my Destiny apartment.
Man. Depending on
That
how
would be the
far you get in
dream.
Onslaught, you get like upgrades to build your house, like get metals to put it in and stuff.
I can hang
That
all my
would be the
pictures of
dream.
Amanda Holiday.
Yep,
Rest in
yep.
peace. Yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes sense that they would do some sort of Last City like social space because that is kind of what this whole thing Into the Light is about, is like the enemy closing in on us. That's what they focused on the whole live stream anyway, is about how we're like really being pushed in. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it was a social space within the Last City, which does make me think of the new tower. That would make sense,
Mm.
but we'll see.
Yeah, curious. I have no idea at this point. When I saw that, that just like came out of left field for me. I was like,
Yeah.
"New social space. What are we doing with that?" So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see.
Apparently,
they
they had to cut off the live stream, last week's live stream, a little bit early, so people were upset that they didn't get to earn their emblems. But I think they
I
also
hit
mentioned
98%.
Mm,
so close, so
98. Yep.
close.
So yeah, they are gonna have they're just gonna keep the streams on for longer because there is one emblem that requires you to have 3 hours, which is all 3 streams in their entirety. So yeah, they're gonna keep it on for a bit longer so everyone can get their emblems.
That's good. So don't worry about your emblems; you can still get the emblem.
You will be able to get them, yeah.
yeah,
They'll
that's
make
good.
sure.
Watts, did you this is one last thing about the stream. I feel like they should have just done one stream. Like, why is it 3
Yeah.
streams?
I do think one stream would have been good, even if it was like an hour and a half stream. But I understand that they're sitting down with the developers and they're talking about it, but
Mhm.
it is really difficult for the developers to talk in depth about the mode whilst playing. Noah did an
Yes,
incredible job. He was
he
doing
did.
absolutely amazingly. But it is hard to really get into all of the detail with whilst playing. And it did start to feel like, okay, we've seen the mode, you've explained it, we get it, we know what's up, what's going on. Now you could it felt like there was a natural shift to be like, okay, now we talk about the weapons and now we talk about the, but it was just like playing the mode the whole time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it could have been one stream, even if it was an hour and a half, even if it was 2 hours. But
Yeah.
I think three, it feels like you're really stretching the the time out.
I also thought we were gonna get, like, at least at the end of the stream, some sort of a trailer, because the cinematic team is so good. Like,
They
everything they
are, yeah.
make. Maybe they're just focusing on Final Shape stuff right now, but like Onslaught would be a perfect thing to demonstrate and do a really cool trailer for. Maybe it's coming, maybe it's just they're saving
Yeah.
it for the hype at the end, but I feel like that would have done a really good job of getting people like, oh, this looks fun. Because watching somebody else play a horde mode is just difficult to get into. That's me and Brian were kind of talking about it beforehand. But it feels like difficult to get excited about somebody playing a horde mode that like is starting at level 0, that is like easy mode, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, come on, when is it gonna get more exciting? But I am still excited for it nonetheless. I just had to get out of the mode of watching the Twitch stream and more into the mode of like, what is it going to be like for me to play this and for my friends to play this?
Yeah.
Smells like bacon in here. Does that mean I'm having a stroke?
There's it's
Sorry.
something.
Side note.
I don't know if it's
Is
bacon.
it
I don't
pickles
know.
or bacon?
I don't remember what the smell is when you're having a stroke.
Delicious smelling stroke, though. I gotta say, 10 out
Wow.
of 10. Oh, was there anything else in the TWAB we wanted to talk about?
Yes.
What else?
They very quickly, you asked me about the Crucible. They very quickly came out with a new Sandbox update they're working on.
Already?
Yes, like immediately, which is crazy. So they're already specifically targeting the new auto rifle that is just going crazy. They've targeted precision frames and they're decreasing base damage by 5%. That's really the only one that's getting a nerf. But they realize like, hey, this is super hot. Prosecutor's super hot. Let's take it down a notch. And so they're just decreasing that. They're leaving the other auto rifles, the adaptives, where they are. That's the summoner. Because they said like like they looked at the stats and they're like, everybody who's using them is like, it's kind of like even, but I guess Prosecutor was kind of like bending the curve a bit, so they decided to bring it down. And then they're
Yeah. I
increasing the
did feel
body. Yeah, go
like
ahead.
when I died, and it was that gun, I was like, I feel like there's nothing I can do against that gun unless
Mhm.
I'm like really close and I have my sidearm or yeah. But if I'm using like another auto rifle, there's no freaking chance. The thing is crazy.
Yeah. And it's cool that they brought up a lot of stuff too, and not in like a super buff sort of way, but just in a evening things out sort of way. Like hand cannons, they increase the base damage by a little bit, so that way time payload and explosive payload actually lets you like 3-tap again because it wasn't letting you certain perks. And then the body shot damage of rapid fires, lightweights, and adaptive pulse rifles, and also rapid fire scouts. Just like ease of use thing. I'm sure it's gonna only increase the body shot TTK, not the optimal. So it like doesn't affect the top end that much, but it helps the whole sandbox feel a little better, I think is what they're going for. And then they fix some exotics too. Sunshot increased critical hit damage against players in the Crucible by 11% to allow it to 3 crit. And the last word increased base damage by 6% to allow it to 3 crit. So that sounds fun.
That does
That's
sound fun.
spicy.
It's been a minute
Yes.
since I pulled out the last word.
Same. And I want now in this new sandbox, I was reading about people talking about this because, like, you know, with special weapons, with shotguns, you can't really pull out the last word on a, like, you know, precision slug shotgun. Like, that's like the same range, basically. But now that not everyone's running around with shotgun ammo, you can really go full cowboy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Have to give it a try.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely will be giving it a try.
and a very big thing that I almost left out, probably the biggest thing in the whole change they're making, they're adjusting flinch, reducing flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15%. Because there's so much primary gunfight and you like really have to hit your crits, and it felt so punishing to get flinched off. So reducing flinch taken by all primary weapons by 15% is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. No, that is a big deal.
And the only thing I'm wondering about is, does this mean like flinch from primary weapons are going to be 15% less, or like when I'm holding a primary weapon, it's going to be 15% less?
That is
Because
confusing.
if it's from primary weapons,
Yeah.
it says flinched off target. It's I don't know. If
Taken
it's from
by primary weapons,
yeah.
it's hard to say,
So
right?
so my flinch from primary weapons, or is it I'm using a primary?
Taken
I don't know.
by. Yeah, I would assume taken by.
So somebody's hitting me with a primary weapon.
That's what I would think.
That's what I would
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, because when I used a sniper this past weekend, like I enjoyed it. It was fun, but man, if I got ticked once from something, like I just could not. My scope was just in the ceiling. There was no chance of me
Yeah.
doing anything.
I
So-
tried a sniper for the first time in a while, and I was like, why even do this? This is ridiculous.
yeah.
This is silly.
I will say though, it was fun to like, if you set it up right, especially in that close map cauldron, it's like no one's expecting you to really lane them with a sniper in that map. And if you
True.
play it right and kind of lean into your primary, and then all of a sudden round 3 whip out your sniper rifle, they're like, what? You know, they just don't expect it. You get that clean pick, and
That's
that
very
felt
true.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Guys,
But,
they
yeah.
finally got me. There is
Oh,
no
what?
way I'm not buying
The
the
Ghostbusters
Ecto
stuff.
1 themed exotic ship. There's no way. There's no
I've seen
future where I don't
pictures.
own that.
I've seen pictures of people using that ship or videos, and I'm like, that does look really good. It looks very, very cool.
Yeah. That's amazing. What a collaboration. I don't know what that sparrow is, though. That doesn't say Ghostbusters to me at all. I wonder if that's based on like the new movie that's just coming out.
Probably, yeah, because that is obviously what they're doing is the collaboration because of the movie. So
Yeah, Garaka, Grraka. I've never. Maybe that's. I don't know. Any hardcore Ghostbusters nerds might be like, dummy, that was from. But the Slimer ghost shell looks pretty decent too.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I
I
would
like
have
it
preferred
all.
if they went with like a translucent shell and like made it look a little more like
Mm,
Slimer and less like the paper
that would
craft
be
kind of
cool.
things. But still, great. I'm buying both of those. I'm sure they're going to be in the Eververse store, but I'm buying them anyway. I don't care. I need this.
Kind of wish it was the State Puff Marshmallow Man, but I know
You're
that's
right.
kind of a throwback. But that would be
That would have
awesome.
made a great Sparrow. Just ride the space station.
Oh my!
That would have been a good
Yes.
Sparrow. That's what we need.
But I definitely need the Ecto 1 themed exotic ship. That's 100% going to be my new ship for the ongoing future.
It's pretty cool too. I didn't think much of it when I saw this image, but somebody I guess previewed it and put it on Twitter, and they were like, "Yeah, I take it back. I love this thing, and it does look very cool."
It does. It looks really good. It's a very well done collab.
Yeah. Also, if you buy anything, I think starting on March 19th on the Bungie store, you'll also get a Slimer Ghost Shell papercraft at no cost. So you can make your own
nice.
little Slimer out of paper.
That looks pretty good too, actually.
It's not going to look that good after I do it. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, me neither.
I got 6 thumbs and none of them can fold paper like that.
Good stuff. Well, it's
Yeah.
it's very good to see them changing the sandbox stuff so quickly. That's a big deal because for a very long time, Bungie has reacted incredibly slowly to stuff. So this has been really great to see. Onslaught, I think, looks great. I'm definitely gonna give it a try. I don't think for someone who's like kind of lapsed like I am with Destiny, I don't think it's gonna be a thing where I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to get in and play more Onslaught.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is a very, very, very good addition to people waiting for the final shape.
Yeah. I'm definitely like, oh boy, I can't wait to try this. Like I am really looking actually forward to this.
That's because you haven't played Dragon's Dogma.
That's true. I have not played Dragon's Dogma. Do you want to just jump into some Dragon's Dogma real quick?
Sure.
So,
I played
it
for
out
8
right now?
hours.
Is it out?
So it had a release date on Steam at 5 p.m. Pacific. So that was for everyone on Steam at 5 p.m. Pacific.
That's
for
like
consoles,
right now.
It was an hour 40 ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For consoles, it's midnight local time, so it's still not out yet. If you're in the U.S., it's not quite there, but soon.
I've heard that if you have a PC, a good PC, a strong, beefy PC, that's the way to go because it's 30 FPS seems like a stretch on the PS5.
So it's unlocked on the PS5, so it means that sometimes you get like 45, but then sometimes you might get 27. So it's around 30 on the PS5, and on Xbox. Sits around 30 for the most part. But the thing with the PC version is that it's very CPU dependent. So if you have a 4090, but your CPU is sitting at like an i5, it's going to be a struggle. Because I have a 13 series Intel, so it's a i9 13700K, 13700K. And it's been great. My performance has been great. I don't know exactly how many frames I'm running at because I turned the overlay off because it messes with some games. Some games do not like the overlay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It looks smooth on your stream. It looked like it was.
It runs really well for me. Yeah, I haven't had any problems. I would guess that I'm probably around like 75, 80 most of the time frames from what I can tell. It's definitely above 60 for sure. Quite above 60 because I can kind of usually tell when it gets to 60ish. So yeah, it's been performing really great for me. So I would definitely say if you have a beefy CPU, you should be good to go.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about Dragon's Dogma. Like,
I want to hear.
Can you give me like a gameplay loop? Like, what's it like to play this?
So it is like going on a merry adventure with a band of idiots and getting into trouble.
Okay, I'm sold. Yeah, that sounds great.
It's so the Dragon's Dogma is an open world action RPG. The unique thing about it is the pawn system, which we've discussed before, but just for a little TLDR is you make a pawn, you make your character that you play, and then you make a pawn. And this is kind of just like your best bud who comes along with you and they help you find stuff and they fight with you and they're just your friend that is always with you. And then you have 2 other pawns that you hire from anywhere in the world. It could be your friend's pawn, it could be a random one, or it could be one that's like baked into the game. So then you hire 2 more for a total of 4 people running around doing stuff. And the way that they set it up is that it's just adventure everywhere. There's always something to explore, something to find, something interesting that you come across. And if you don't happen to randomly find something, what can happen is because your pawns are going between all these different worlds and playing with all these different players, they learn about things that they've gone on adventures with. So if you have a pawn who has been in the area that you're in before and you've only just been here for the first time, they might say something like, "Oh, hi. I was with an Arisen and we found a chest nearby. Do you want me to take you there?" And then you can tell them like, "Yeah, go take me to the chest." So something like that happened to me. And I was like, I'm just going to follow the pawn. Doesn't matter how far they go. We're just going to follow them and see where they take me. And they took me in the most massive circle that lasted like all day into a nighttime, fighting through the night, back into the day. I didn't have any money to rest at an inn. And I'm just like, I don't know where we're going, but we're going to see where it ends up. So
you weren't saying idiots in the way of like, oh, they're just friendly idiots. No, they're just dummies.
No, so they were taking me somewhere. They took me to a place that I helped me finish up a quest, but it was a long way. It was a very, very long way, and I was like, it's nighttime is very scary. So Dragon's Dogma is not afraid to make nighttime dark, so you cannot see very far in front of you at all. I almost ran off a cliff in the nighttime. You cannot see anything. And then like zombie spawn and skeletons and ghouls and everything is a lot stronger in the evening and you can't see.
It's like Castlevania.
So
Castlevania 2.
Dangerous. Yeah,
Was
and
that
Nate's
right when you were streaming right before the podcast. Were you outside at night? I thought you were in a cave maybe.
I was outside. Yes.
Oh wow, it is dark.
It's dark. It's very dark. And I'm looking for a kid that's been dragged off by wolves. He's definitely dead.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good turnout for that kid. The wolves, on the other hand, might be enjoying themselves tremendously.
I killed some wolves, but didn't find a kid.
In their belly.
It's like a Little Red Riding Hood story.
I was cursing this kid out. I'm going to actually upload that whole sequence of them telling me about the kid to where we ended because it was so ridiculous. Because I was like, okay, they told me to go out in the east. So I'm going to go to the east. Somewhere in the east near a cenotaph has this kid been dragged off by wolves. So I was looking for like a graveyard in the east. And it gets to nighttime and I'm like, well, now I can't see anything. I end up going into what appears to be like a pretty big tomb with a bunch of graves in it. But it's inside a building. So it's like, that's like a cenotaph. And a bunch of skeletons, because it's nighttime, pop out of the things. So I'm fighting the skeletons. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to get in there and help my buddies. And then I end up falling down ladders into a crypt beneath this room by myself, a tiny room with like 4 skeletons attacking me. So I have to spam heals. Pawns are dying. They're on the floor. And the music is very dramatic when they're dying. You have to revive them. Otherwise, they will be sent back to their world. You lose them. So that was probably about a 45-minute journey of trying to find this kid, fighting skeletons, fighting ghouls, finding a big boss ghoul, and just running. One pawn went down because you can... the whole time you can tell them to like come to me or wait or go, like kind of simple commands. So I'm just spamming like, come to me. We're not fighting this guy. We just fought skeletons all night. We've got no health. So I'm running. I'm like, one of the pawns goes down. I'm like, Javier, we have to leave them. We can't go back. And then I just see my pawn running with Javier over their shoulder, sprinting towards me.
What a legend. No Javier left behind.
No Javier left behind, and threw him down on the floor. We revived them. We ran away, and eventually it's daytime, and I'm like, kid's dead, but we had fun. So I don't know if he's dead, but it's a time-sensitive quest, so he's probably dead.
I can't think of how many mornings I woke up and said, kid's dead, but we had fun. It's the mark of a good night out.
That's the game, is like that. All the time, just random encounters of things that happen and finding loot and going into caves and being like, now I've been on a journey for 40 minutes when I was just
Isn't there like
planning
a
on
big
going.
overarching story to kind of like
There
prod you
is.
along?
Yeah, there is. You can't just beeline it, and it's pretty easy to find where you're going with the main quest to beeline it. But yeah, there's so much. It's really, really, really good.
How's
So
the
do you feel
combat?
like
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lego.
no. I was just gonna say, so do you feel like one of the hooks of it is not that there's like the main story and a bunch of side quests, but it feels more like the main story and then just random crap that you run into along the way, sort of deal?
Yeah, because like you have those side quests, but so much of that random stuff happens while you're on those side quests and adventuring, and you find, like a building you want to go into, and you find cool stuff. And yeah, the draw of it is definitely it really is like you're just even though it's single player, it feels like you're playing with a group of buds who are just
Yeah.
going around and adventuring. It just feels like an adventuring hero party. It's really incredible. And they'll say stuff to you the whole time. Like I had one pawn that I hired who was like, I don't know about you guys, but being with this Arisen is really amazing. And I was like, that's so sweet. And then you see them randomly go up to each other and say, I found this. I want you to have it. And I'm like, that's so cute. I jumped off a cliff and one of them grabbed me. They caught me before I fell and died.
That's pretty amazing, actually. Just the
Yeah.
randomness sounds like the best part of this game, honestly.
It is incredible. They can even boost you up with a shield. They can boost you up to areas. So they'll get into a position, you jump on them, and they send you flying up a hill. It's it's a really incredible game. It's so good. So if you're any of you are interested, you can make your character and your pawn for free. They still have the
Alright.
character creator for free. So if you want to mess around with that and see what you think, maybe that will make you want to play it. But I think it's very, very, very good.
I was telling Lego before the show, I've had an extraordinarily busy week, but like tomorrow I got the whole day all to myself, and it is totally going to be Dragon's Dogma 2 day.
I would love you to play it
I can't wait.
and
I'm
let
really
me know
looking
what you
forward to
think.
it. Like the reviews have been so positive. Everybody just seems to be just having a great time with it. And how's the combat? I wanted to ask you.
Yes. Combat is very, very good. It's Capcom, so there's a lot of like Monster Hunter DNA baked into that if you've played Monster Hunter but haven't played Dragon's Dogma. Like they even share moves between the two games, so you'll probably notice some familiar moves with some of the weapons. But yeah, combat feels great. I'm playing an archer at the moment, and I'm doing the archer has a lot of mobility. So you can run up to enemies, jump and kick them, fly back, shoot them with an arrow. You can dodge, shoot him. I was being chased by I think it's a minotaur. I was getting chased by a minotaur, and he was just locked on me. He only cared about fighting me, and I was able to like jump every time he came to fight me and shoot him, and I was kind of using that as my way of dodging.
That's pretty sick.
So there's no lock on with the combat.
Mm.
So again, if you think of Monster Hunter, not many people use lock on in Monster Hunter because it's a little jank. So it feels very much so like that, where you aim at an enemy in their direction, and it will kind of like do a soft lock on onto
Okay.
them.
Hmm.
But yeah, combat feels great. I've only played the Archer so far. I plan on playing the Warfarer eventually, which is where you can use all of the weapons and all of the class abilities. You have to pick your build before you go. You don't have like 50 abilities that you can use when you're out. You get to pick like 4. But that's what I'm gonna do eventually.
But can you change it like when you're
Yes.
resting or something? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can change to any vocation, which is their version of classes, whenever you want. So you just have to unlock them, and then you can just switch to them.
Oh, so
I
it's
like
not
that
a
a
thing where
lot.
you pick your class when you create your character and you're just stuck to that.
No, you're not stuck at all. If you do want to, you can mess around with whatever you want and try it out. It's also worth noting there's not really any fast travel. There's some fast travel, but the fast travel requires a stone that is very, very, very rare. So you only want to use that if it's like, God damn, I gotta go.
Mm. And can you use it like anywhere, even in like, that when you fell down in the cemetery?
Yeah, I think I would have been able to use it there. Yeah, I would have been able to use it, but I didn't. And there's also things where you can revive yourself, and you can also use it on NPCs and stuff. But those are also really rare, so you want to think about when you're using those. So I'm probably going to end up just never using it, unless it's like at the end of a boss fight when they're nearly dead, and then I can pop that. But there is a way to kind of fast travel, where you can go to an ox cart and they just go between like major cities and outposts, and you can ride on the ox cart and fast travel. But
Nice.
the ox cart can get interrupted, and you'll have to fight off enemies on the road.
As an ox
But
cart can do. You know, you could throw a shoe, you break the wheel, you could get sabotaged by bandits. Who knows? Ox
You
carts are dangerous.
you mentioned
Adventure.
boss fights.
Yeah.
All the like art from it looks like the bosses are ginormous. Is there a lot of that in the game?
Yeah, I fought like ogres and minotaurs, and those are all definitely quite large. The griffin is also pretty big. Um, so yeah, everything that I've seen that's got a health bar that appears on the screen, like a big health bar, not just a little one, they've all been fairly large.
Mm.
But that's because part of the game, a big part of the game, is climbing the enemies and stabbing them
Oh, cool.
and trying to topple
Okay.
them over. Yeah, it's really good. I think this will most likely be my game of the year. I think it will be very hard to beat it. Very,
I
very
can't
hard.
wait to get
This year
started.
could, but yeah, it's very good.
I'm tempted to buy it on PlayStation just because I want to play it down in the living room as
If you
opposed to
don't
up here
mind
in the
30
office.
FPS, yeah.
Well, I don't love it.
It runs
Um,
great on my computer. Like I haven't had any stuttering, I haven't had any slowdown. I've heard of people killing NPCs in the town so that they get better FPS.
I've heard of this. Yes, apparently, like there's something about like the way the renderer works, where like all the NPCs are like, I think Final Fantasy. What was the one with the car and like the hip kids driving the car around?
15.
15
15, yeah.
worked in a similar way where it was like even NPCs that weren't on screen were being like rendered.
Mm. Yeah, Capcom has said that they are aware and they're working on fixes to make FPS as good as they can. All I can say is that for my computer, I have the i9 and the 3090. It's been totally fine. And I'm not running at low settings. So I have pretty much everything maxed.
Is Rise of the Ronin coming out this week as well?
It's out tomorrow.
Oh, it's out
Wow.
tomorrow.
I was
Reviews on that have
planning on
not been.
Yeah, I was planning on playing it tomorrow. But now I'm like, I need like 1,000 hours with Dragon's Dogma just to feel like I have done anything. I really don't think, I think it's going to be a game that I'm going to want to play when it's a downtime because I do want to check it out. It's Team Ninja and Team Ninja do really fun combat.
Yeah.
It's definitely got Team Ninja kind of jank around it, but I think that I still will have fun just with their combat and doing flashy combat stuff. So I think that might be one that I just end up checking out in the downtime. Just because Dragon's Dogma is like the type of game you run to your friends and go, "Oh my god, you have to play this game."
You gotta check this
So
out.
stepping away from that kind of game is really difficult. But yeah, it's been getting like what, an average 7 out of 10 for Rise of Ronin.
Yeah. You know, like
Yeah.
Destiny style scores.
Which doesn't mean that it's bad, right? It just means
No.
that you, at the moment, like all last year, every game that was coming out was like 9 to 10 out of 10. 9 to 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Every game. And then this year has been the same. You've got Rebirth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink was incredibly up there. So many games that are coming out are between 9 and 10 out of 10s. So to
And it
bring
can't
out a
last
game
forever
that's a
because they're
7.
laying off the entire game industry. So like
True.
train has got to end at some point.
Yep.
Well, let's hope it's long from now.
Yeah, hope so. The Future Game Show happened today. I was going to watch it, but I completely forgot. Time passed me
whoa.
by, and before you knew it, it was 3 p.m. So, missed that.
What else is going on this week? Anything good?
I did finish Rebirth.
Oh, you finished it.
Wow.
Okay.
I finished
I
it.
don't want to ask you,
Yeah.
but I want to know. Maybe you're going to have to tell me afterward because I don't think I'm going to make it through this one.
So, the final, I'd say 2 hours were really, really good. And I'm glad that I got to those final 2 hours to experience the boss fights. And it was like a big, big high. But what was really interesting and made me kind of view things differently, I guess, is that in Final Fantasy 16, those boss fights were like all the time. You know, you had like crazy boss fight and then a little bit of a lull, and then crazy boss fight and a little bit of lull. But for this game, for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I only really found the boss at the end was that kind of level of just intensity and ridiculousness of Final Fantasy 16. So it was just interesting to compare them because we've had them so close together. But I think 16 kind of egged me on to keep going a bit better. I think the pacing was a bit better. Overall, Rebirth is a game that confuses my emotions because there's so much that I love, like in love. I love these characters. I love this story. This is written so well. Like I've loved so many of the mini games. The combat has been fun. She is in it. I went on a date with Red. It was amazing. He was so happy. I mean, imagine a puppy having the best day of his life. That was my date. So.
That does sound fun.
That's pretty good. So there's so much that I love. And then there's so much that I was like, I cannot wait for this to be over. So to have two feelings of like pretty drastic ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I can't even put a rating to the game because it's just like I love and hate.
What was the kind of stuff that felt that way that you just like couldn't wait for it to be over?
Definitely the open world. The open world is not the kind of open world that I like where it's just things on a map and you go and do the thing and, oh, look, I'll climb a tower again. And like, oh, there's a combat thing over there. I'll go do a combat thing. So I didn't like that. Some of the forced sections that you had to do, I won't give any spoilers, but there's a section that I think everyone doesn't like and it is a drag to get through. So I think it's... A lot of I guess the gaming part of the game I didn't love that much. And I found that some of the boss fights wanted to do this like super clean, tight way of you playing the boss fight. But the combat, I say the combat is more fun and flashy and doing all these combos and putting stuff together is really cool and controlling. Yeah, the combat is really fun. And I think it works with most of the bosses that they have. But then there's some bosses where I'm like, this feels like it should be in more so in 16, where it's more of like a straight up action combat encounter rather than like the mixed action and strategy that Rebirth had. So yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. It's such a weird one for me. It's so weird because I grew up with Final Fantasy. I love the character so much. It's nostalgic and great. And then I'm just like, I just want the game to end.
It made me think of the Hobbit movies a lot. So
yeah,
like I really enjoyed the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I thought it was like action packed and well paced, and that's how I felt about the first one. Not the one from the 90s, but what's it called? Remake,
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. I thought it was great. It was 40 hours long. And when it was over, it was bombastic, and I was like left with like my jaw dropped, like, oh, I can't wait for the next one. This one feels more like the Hobbit movies, where they took one little thin book and stretched it across 3 movies, and it just doesn't feel like enough for like. It wants to be a much bigger game, but it doesn't feel like there's not enough book, right? There's just not enough. Yeah. Of it, you know, so like I find that I get real bored doing some of the stuff this game wants me to do, and I think I'd have a better time if I just like kind of put my head down and just kind of push through this story.
You would,
because
you definitely would.
But now I'm afraid, like right now, I just lost my will to play it because I just kind of got bored playing it, which sucks because I really want to know what happens because I was so invested in the story of Remake.
Same. Yeah, I absolutely adored Remake. I didn't have
me
like,
too.
I came away just being like, I just love this game. That's it. And yeah, this one, I think it's mostly the pacing. I think it mostly is the pacing where I'm just not getting enough payoff with the story frequently enough to make me go, ooh, I can't wait to see the next part.
Yeah.
It's not doing that for me. It's just kind of like, I'm wandering around and then you're like, oh, something's happening. I think it was like chapter 9 that the story really picks up and starts feeling like it's going somewhere, which is far into the game.
That is far, yeah.
It's far.
Chapter 9 is quite far. But yeah, just doing the story, I definitely enjoyed it more just pushing on with the story because the story is really good. I think these characters are some of the most well-written RPG characters you've like ever seen. So just experiencing more of their personality and their interactions with each other made me very happy. So
Yeah.
I would recommend that if anyone is finding it to feel like a bit of a drag, just push on with the story.
Yeah. I have a trouble with that. Is like a lot of times I'll start with a
Yeah.
game and I'll be really loving it and I'll just want to do everything, but
Yeah,
then I'll
yep,
burn
same.
myself out on the game and I won't finish it. Whereas if I just like put my head down and like went through the story, I would have probably finished it in the same amount of hours I put into the game. And what? Like I didn't get like, the best armor in the game or the best weapon in the game.
Right.
But like, do I care about that after I finish the game? Usually not. Usually
That's
I
the
don't care.
thing. That's how I was as well. Cause I get so like annoyed in my brain knowing that I've missed something possibly really freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if there's parts of the game that you're not enjoying, it's better to just do the parts that you do. It's
Yeah,
better
I
to
think
do the
that's
parts that
smart.
you do.
Did any of y'all hear about the the game that Will Smith was the figurehead for that came out and apparently bombed that I didn't know anything
No.
about? I
I
just saw
don't
a
know.
Twitter thing of it today. Had to look
No.
it up.
Like Will Smith, the one who
Undawn.
likes to slap people on stage?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's called Undawn, and it's a zombie survival game where you band up with, I don't know, other people,
Jeez,
PC
what
and
an original
mobile.
concept.
I know, right? And I think that's why it's not doing so good. But I was like, what? And somebody had just randomly shared it on Twitter, so I Googled it, and like Will Smith's face is all over it. But I've never heard of this before. Oh, something I did want to bring up that was really awesome that I did see was Unreal Engine. The creators of Dune 2 came out and were talking about the way that they filmed for Dune was through using Unreal Engine to like map out what the set was going to look like in the desert and how to set up everything and exactly what the lighting was going to look like on their faces depending on like where the mountains were and stuff, and it was
Really?
insane. Like
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool to see the blend of like here's like our world of video games colliding with cinema and how they decide to like perfectly capture everything.
What a
IRL.
smart way to do it though, because you could
Yeah.
like block everything and set everything up and get the lighting like before you even go on set. In the first one, they used like those big, I want to say green screens, but they weren't. They were like tan screens, kind of, just so that like the whole world would cast this light. I was really impressed with the first one. The second one was really good too, but like just
Yeah.
the look of the first one, it looked like every
Agreed.
every shot looked like it could have been like a screensaver or like a fantasy like painting on the cover of a novel. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yes.
just so. The second one was great, but it didn't quite have that feel, I didn't think.
I kind of agree. I like the second one a lot. I think visually it does look great, but for me, the second one was more about like the emotional journey of like seeing what like just I don't know, like just like almost like brainwashed spirituality can do to people. And just like the turn of the main character. It felt like, I haven't read the books, I don't know where it goes, but it felt like, oh wait, who is the good guy? Like just kind of like almost the way Last of Us 2 does. It kind of felt like that to me in like movie form. And it hasn't gone that extreme yet, but it did feel kind of that way to me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was glad. That was the first movie I've seen in the theater since COVID, and I was really happy to see it there because I really enjoyed it. My wife has seen the novels, and I've had to say, don't tell me what happens 700 times.
That's great.
She was unbearable to watch Game of Thrones with.
Really?
Oh,
because of the
my God.
books. What was she doing? Being
Unbearable.
like, oh, it's the guy.
Yeah. Oh, this guy, you're not gonna believe what this guy does. I'm like,
Oh
what?
no. Just the people we banned from Twitch chat.
Yeah, oh, totally. She would be banned from to chat like that. I'm about to ban her from chat. I can tell her
Oh,
that.
that's
I bet
great.
she'll like that if I say that.
Yeah, you're banned. I'm banning you from chat. You're chat banned.
I'm sure that'll go over great. Yeah, that movie was killer, man. Like Dune 2 was really good. You also pointed me in the direction of the new Alien trailer today,
Yes.
which
Alien
looks pretty
Romulus.
good. What was it called?
Yeah, Alien Romulus, and I am pumped for it because it's by the director of the first reprised Evil Dead movie and the newer and I guess more well regarded, maybe even the Don't Breathe movie. He was that I think that was like his breakout film. So I'm very excited to see where this goes because the trailer is very much like a callback to the original Ridley Scott movie Alien. It had like some aliens reference in it, but mainly like just the vibe of the claustrophobic hallways, like slow, intense, and like building that atmosphere. And I really hope it sticks that landing because I would love to see the series return to that.
Yeah, I would like that too. I mean, I'm more of a fan, I think, than most people. I think you are too, of where the Alien series has gone recently, starting with Prometheus.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first two movies are absolutely banger classics, and you can't go wrong going back to those. I would like to see a continuation of the story of Prometheus, though.
I would too. I'm like flip flop on it because I really hated Covenant. Like I just that one kind of killed the mood for me. But I loved Prometheus, so I'm with you. I would love to see where the story would go, but we'll see. I don't know. Ridley Scott's funny. He's like, nah, I'm never doing this again, and then he goes and makes 3 of them. So
You never know.
And then there was a new Star Wars trailer as well.
New Star Wars trailer. There's a
There
new
was.
Acolyte, yeah, and I thought it looked great. Like I know it's getting some hate, I think, from Star Wars fans. Who would have guessed? But
are there black people in it? Because they hate that.
Yes, there is, and that is that is a thing.
No.
I hate that. Lovely. Yeah. But yes, it looks great. All the actors in it, actresses in it look great. And I like the idea of I don't know, like a different era of Star Wars that we haven't seen, and seeing the Force kind of play out in a TV show. I feel like we kind of got some of that in the last Star Wars series we got, but not fully. And this
I
looks
haven't
like
seen
they're
the trailer.
really going all out.
Is it what period is it set in?
It's in man. I'm not as much of a Star Wars know it all as most of the people out there. I feel like, but I believe it's like several hundred years before the original Star Wars, and I think it's called the something Republic.
The Old
Someone's
Republic?
gonna kill me because they know
High
it's not
Republic?
High Republic. Yes, it's not Old
Oh.
Republic. Maybe it's High Republic.
Okay.
Yes, High
High
Republic.
Republic.
Dude, yes. I knew it wasn't Old Republic because that would people would have been freaking out. I feel like, but yeah, into the High Republic. Okay, cool.
I think that's an interesting time to place a Star Wars because like so much of the current Star Wars is about like how fucking like how grand the Jedi were. But if you think about it, these people were traveling around the galaxy stealing babies and like indoctrinating them into their ancient religion, which they then used to control the entire galaxy. So like we know that they fought the Empire, which was definitely bad. But how bad were the Jedi, really?
Yeah.
If you think about it.
And I think the series might explore some of that because it seems like, from what I heard, that at that time the Jedi weren't like the movies we saw. They were like very tied into the political nature of what was going on, and like in this era, they're like separate from any governmental organization, and they have to vote to decide: do we hop in with this side or do we hop in with that side? And so we might see some of those kind of decisions being played out.
Yeah. Chat says Jedi didn't control anything. Their loyalty was to the Senate. But that's like saying the CIA doesn't control anything. Their loyalty is to the Senate. We all know that's bullshit. They killed the fucking president. At least one. That we know of. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know how many horror movie fans we have out there either, but they came out with a new trailer for it's God, I can't find it now. Yeah. In a Violent Nature. It's like this up and coming horror movie where it follows the killer instead of from the perspective of like the victims. It's like
Oh,
the camera
interesting.
stays on him the whole time. And the trailer came out for it, and it looks pretty good. Like, I'm not a big
That's cool.
slasher fan, but it just the way it was portrayed looked really
What's the
interesting.
name
It
of
looks
it
like
again?
it's called In a Violent Nature. I bet it's gonna win a lot of
In a Violent
awards, honestly,
Nature. I have to
from a
check
few.
that out.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
All right, I can't watch it now because obviously I'll be watching
And
that
then
right after the show.
also, we kind of like skipped over it with video game stuff, but 1943 Rise of Hydra, someone was talking about in chat, the trailer for that game came out, Marvel, and it looks excellent. Like, I don't even know what the gameplay is or any, like, you can't really tell because it all looks cinematic, but the visuals in it look just so realistic. They've got the actor Carrie Payton, who played in The Walking Dead, and I loved him in that. He's playing oh shoot. I'm blanking on everybody's name right now. He's playing Black Panther, and
Oh, yes.
it
Yes.
just like hearing him talk, I just love the way that he voices all his lines. For some reason, Captain America didn't look like Captain America to me. It looked like the fake Captain America we got in the TV series.
Yeah, that looks weird.
But the Black Panther
Is
with
it a
Carrie
new
Payton looked
actor?
I don't know. Yeah, it's for sure like new actors playing these roles, but
Okay.
I don't know what the plot is other than it's a World War II era version of Black Panther, which sounds amazing.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Ooh, they're saying the cinematic was apparently rendered in real time. Yeah, I think that's why it's blowing up because everybody's like, "Wow, this looks good."
Okay, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, it's a game, and I really want to know like what the gameplay is because it all they really showed were, even if it was rendered in real time, I just want to know what it is.
Yeah. Lego, do you play most of your games on PC or on console?
I play them like 90% on console. I do play some on PC, but it's mainly if it's like a story game that I gotta play like on because it's only available on Steam through PC, or if it's like PUBG where I need to do inventory management. A little difficult on console.
Have you heard any of the rumors about the new PlayStation 5 Pro?
No.
So apparently, like the rumor mill is back out. I don't know if this thing's real or not. I personally am a little skeptical about it because it just doesn't seem like we're in a position. The PlayStation 5 is in a position to get like a Pro upgrade like the PlayStation 4 was at the time. But we are at about the same point in the life cycle, which is crazy. Like, what has happened to time? It's so fucked.
For real. I'll tell you what happened. COVID happened. That's what happened to time.
That is correct. But yeah, I mean, like, up to 8K output, which it said on the box for the PlayStation 5. Let's be real. DLSS would, it'd have like better upscaling to get better frame rates, also better ray tracing. I don't know. Like, I don't know that I'm ready to like buy another PlayStation. I don't even feel like they've like utilized the hardware on the current one that much yet. Like, how many PlayStation 5 exclusives have there been?
I agree. I feel like a console can be stretched so far, I feel like. But at the same time, if they do come out with something new, I know I'm going to be on it just because like the ease of use of having a console in my life is just so nice not to have to worry about updates. Like I can keep my PC stuff editing for YouTube and not have to worry about I updated for this game and now like whatever software won't work, and I just don't want to put up with that.
No, I understand. I get that. I definitely get that.
But yeah, I agree with your statement that there's a lot of life left in the PS5, and I think that's probably why it's just rumors still.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's time. Like the PlayStation 4 Pro, like a lot of people were mad about that. But like it felt like the PlayStation 4 launched in a state where it's kind of underpowered right from the get-go, and people were just transitioning from 1080p to 4K TVs in their living room. So it just made sense to kind of give people a console that could display at 4K for these new TVs. Like, it made sense, but there's no such transition happening right now. Nobody I know is upgrading to an 8K TV right now. They're out there, but it's
No.
not really, doesn't seem to be catching on. Sort of like 3D TVs back in the day. Just, it's there, but nobody really looking for it too hard.
That's true, but that kind of leads into another conversation, which I think Fran was talking about at some point. But this whole idea of like, Fran. There's this idea of cinematic mode, like graphics mode has become very popular recently. Instead of doing the 60 4K, it's like, oh well, you can do the better looking 30 FPS, but it'll look much better.
Right.
And so you got to choose which one do you want to play, the graphical experience or the game experience. And is that okay? Like, do we need a new console generation to usher in where even though we don't go to 8K, maybe we're able to do 60 4K
That's
much
what
better?
I wanted. This is what I wanted going to the PS5, is that everything just have a standard of 60 FPS now, and you make
Yes.
the graphics whatever it needs to be to have every game be 60 FPS.
Yeah.
Because I tried performance mode in Final Fantasy VII. They did do an update yesterday for Rebirth. But I tried performance mode in Rebirth, and it looks so bad. Like, it's the worst looking performance mode I've ever seen. So I have to play on graphics mode because it looked super bad.
It's really framey in graphics mode.
Yeah, it's definitely 30.
See, and isn't that just a terrible decision to have to make, to have to choose between, I want it to look good, but now I'm stuttering. It's smooth, but now it looks like I'm playing back on the PS4. Like, why?
Yeah, that's why I was like, because we all were like, finally, we're going to get 60 FPS for everything. Woo!
Yeah, we did,
but
while they were porting all the PS4 games.
yeah, but instead they went the other way, which I think this is what sells games to most kind of average people is look how amazing the games look now. So they just push the graphics super hard. Yeah. They push that super hard instead of pushing the frames super hard because those are the things that sell, like playing through Rebirth, that game is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you see that, you're like, damn, this game's beautiful. But yeah, we don't get the 60 FPS.
I will say that's something that I'm really impressed with Destiny. I know we're always talking about gunplay and modes and what's new or whatever, but graphically running at 60 and being as clean and looking as good as it does all the time, and you can tell a difference. I do a lot of cinematic work for my YouTube intros within the game, and I can tell a difference when I'm in the new maps that they've created versus the old ones, and you can tell man, they have really kept up making things continue to pop in new and better ways, and it's really impressive. I just for something that feels so good to play, everybody says it's the best FPS feeling game, but for it to look that good is pretty impressive.
It does look great. It's a great looking game.
It's always been a great looking game, but now it runs 60 FPS on the modern consoles, and it looks great. It looks better than it ever has, like you said.
Yeah,
it is impressive technically.
Come on, Final Shape.
Yeah, right.
Oh, speaking of, Still Wakes the Deep got a release date.
Oh,
what's that?
Really?
June 18th.
What's that? Still Wakes the Deep.
Really?
This is the game that Lego wants to play.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
What is this?
That is gonna be tough.
This comes out the same day?
I don't know when Final Shape comes out. Sometime in June.
It's so far away.
Isn't
it
it
a dentist appointment? It's so far away. I don't care when it is.
It's the 4th. Yeah,
it's the 4th.
The 4th. So that might be an okay time for you to at least dabble with it, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 14, 2 weeks of Final Shape before it comes out.
Yeah. I do really want to play it. That game looks amazing and is exactly the kind of game I want to be playing.
Yeah.
The new Alien trailer. Yeah. Alien Romulus reminded me a lot of the Alien game that came out a little while ago, Alien Isolation, and it
Yeah.
has the
That game.
same kind of vibe as Still Wakes the Deep, and that's one of the things that like really draws me to it.
I couldn't do that game.
It is one that like if you're playing late at night by yourself, like not streaming or anything, you're just on your own. It's kind of like, can I keep going? Can I make it to the next hallway? I don't know.
Should we do some Twitter questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me scroll on down. Here we go. Hey Blaze says, what unrevealed weapon are you hoping comes back when Into Light releases?
What? Oh, I mean, so I was thinking about this today because all these. So it's not going to be D1 weapons. It's got to be Destiny 2 Year 1 because they've kind of clarified that is the armor that's coming back and everything. So and that's the weapons we've seen too. So I was like, what fusion rifle is going to come back? And I was like, oh, it's Aerentil. We're going to get Aerentil back, and it's going to come with a new perk pool. And I am terrified and excited all at the same time again. Because, man, if they bring back all the hard hitters like that, how are people even going to choose Recluse and Lunas and Aerentil? That would be insane.
Obi says, with the two hand cannons that appear to be coming back, which are you more excited for? Midnight Q or Luna's Howl? Or are there other weapons you're more excited for?
Luna's Howl for me. Because I'd be down for Luna's Howl again. I wonder how they'll bring it back, if they bring it back in its original state. Because I think they should.
Yeah, I think they have to. Midnight Q isn't going to be the same because that existed in a time when the perks were all set in stone, right? So every Midnight Q was the same, and the perks were so good. Plus what I really liked about it too was like the feel of it, the recoil, and the sight line was just, it was so clear, like it was so easy to use. But I don't see how a Midnight Q in the current like random perk thing is going to be as special as the one was from year one. So I'm probably looking forward more to Luna's Owl.
See, I think part of me, I'm not even nostalgic for any of these weapons. I know a lot of people are getting excited for them. For me, it's like I just want new stuff, period. Yeah. So I don't really care what form it comes in. Like if it's an old weapon model, cool. And just new perk pools of some of like the new and interesting perks they've been working on, because there's so many combinations they haven't hit yet that I want to see. And I hope that we just get new combination of perks that we haven't seen before, new origin traits, all that kind of stuff to see how it all plays together.
Cobalt has a question that speaks to my younger days. Hey, DCP, you only have $5 to eat dinner. Where are you going and how are you spending it?
I think I'm going to go. So I used to have this situation, although back then $5 would go a lot further. A lot further.
Yeah, the
but
$5
what I used to do.
Remember the $5 foot long at Subway? That's not a thing anymore.
I used to choose Taco Bell.
Taco Bell used to be able to eat like a king for $5.
You would. That's why I went there. Yeah.
Sundays you could get 49-cent tacos.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, listen, it might not have been the best, but for the small amount of money I had, I was actually eating like a lot of food. So.
You're getting calories.
I was getting calories. Yeah.
McDonald's used to be the same way. They used to sell cheeseburgers for 69 cents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In fact, the most I've ever thrown up in my life was I was having a keg party at my apartment, and I'm like, hey, everybody seems hungry. Let's go buy like $30 worth of cheeseburgers from McDonald's. And they were like 69 cents.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was
I remember like
combination.
everything being $1 back then, because you could like chicken sandwich from McDonald's was $1, junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's was $1.
Was good too for $1.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
The junior, what's it called? The Whopper Junior was $1.
Oh yeah. Oh, if I were to do it today, we got a place called P. Terry's that is in Austin, local, and they just put one in our town too, and it's pretty cheap. Like I feel like I could get at least 2 hamburgers for $5. Yeah, I would do that. Forget the fries. I'll just take the burgers.
Yeah, I would look for, like, every once in a while I see like buy 2 sandwiches for $5 at like Burger King or Wendy's or something like that. So that'd probably be my go-to. Is like, because when you're looking for calories per dollar, I mean, really, you should be going to the grocery store at this point.
Or go to a Tex-Mex place, just order 1 taco and then eat chips and salsa the whole time.
Oh, go to the bar, order a beer, and get free pretzels.
Yeah, there you go.
or a Mexican bar, order a Dos Equis and get free salsa and chips. You just gamed it. That's it. That's the correct answer. It's just, you got to nurse that beer for 2 or 3 bowls of chips. Blandy McBlanderson says, the Tablet 2E Nasir is a 3,800-year-old cuneiform tablet in which a customer complains to a merchant about the lousy copper he sold him. Have you ever been so mad about a customer experience that you would write a complaint that people would still know a millennia later?
Ooh.
I mean, I got pretty mad at FedEx on this podcast one time, and everybody was calling me a Karen, but I felt like I was in the right.
Well, that's how that normally goes.
I was chasing the truck down the street
Karen.
in my socks. Just saying, just give me the thing so I don't have to wait here another day.
Was this for your Steam Deck? Was that what that was for?
It was for a graphics card.
Graphics
but I bought a graphics card for, like, you know, how much money does graphics cards count? Anywhere from $800 to $1,000, right?
Yeah.
But Nvidia sent it had to be signed for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, it's coming today. It's Tuesday, so I have no choice but to sit by this door all day long. And the guy comes to the door, sticks the sticker on, never knocks on the door. I would have known because I was sitting next to the fucking door. I hear the door open, and I'm like, oh, it's here. And it's my kids. I'm like, oh, I thought you guys were the FedEx guy. And they're like, oh, the FedEx guy's driving down the street. I'm like, what? And then I see the sticker on the door. I'm like, what? So I start chasing him down the street.
Well, this is why having like the Ring camera and stuff is really nice now, because I can just contact FedEx and go, look,
you didn't do the thing.
You didn't do it. And I've had a bunch of situations where they even said that they had delivered it. And I'm like, no one has been at my door all day. So clearly that's not true.
I think FedEx is now in the same spot as Amazon is, where they're giving these guys unreasonable expectations for the work they must complete for incredibly low pay. And it's a bad situation. Apparently UPS, from what I understand, is still like hiring people at a livable wage and like still offering pensions and that kind of thing. So
that's nice.
Yeah. If I have the option, I choose UPS or the Postal Service. Oh, and there was a time where they were supposed to deliver a fucking computer, a whole ass computer, and they just didn't show up. So I'm like, all right, no problem. I'll just come by the office tomorrow and pick it up. He's like, okay, no problem. I'm like, it'll be there? He's like, it'll be here. I go there. It's not there. He's like, it's on the truck. I'm like, I told you I was coming. He's like, well, it's on the truck. I'm like, well, is he going to deliver it? He's like, no, he is actually done with his deliveries for the day. So I'm like, what? So what's going on with this?
So why is
computer?
It on the truck? Why is it on the truck?
Gosh.
Are you delivering it or not delivering it?
So he's like, I'm like, okay, I'm coming back tomorrow. Can you hold it for me? And he's like, yes, I will definitely hold it for you. So I come back tomorrow. He's like, it's in the storage container in the back, but it's way in the back. I can't get to it. I'm like, motherfucker, this is the
You
second day I've
go
been
get
here.
it.
I've been waiting for this delivery. Like I don't care about waiting for the delivery. It's the fact that you have to wait by the door because you have to sign for it, and you know that they're. I'm gonna stop talking about FedEx now because I'm getting a little.
Oh man, that's good. He's too heated.
I think we've all had those experiences where we
Yes.
are waiting for something that you cannot leave because it has to be signed for, and they just either lie or they don't show up.
Like, don't send me shit I have to sign for. First of all, NVIDIA or computer people, like that sucks. I don't live in a neighborhood where it's gonna get stolen off my porch. Or like, buy the insurance for it. So like, if it does get stolen, like no big deal. Just claim the insurance and move on.
I had to go and hunt down a HelloFresh box, and I'm like, it's food. It's like,
Oh my
that ice
God.
is only going to last so long, my friend. Like, can I please have it? God, I went to like 2 FedEx offices trying to get it.
Get out of here.
Yep. Yep.
FedEx,
Ooh.
you're running that place to the ground. I don't know what you're doing.
I just remembered 2 of mine. One is it's not so much the company themselves, but just like movie theaters in general and their tax for ordering a ticket
Oh.
online. Not even tax. It's like this extra thing you gotta pay for
Yeah.
no reason, for their convenience, basically.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate that.
for their convenience. And now they reserve seats, so it's like if you don't do it, you're gonna get shitty seats.
Exactly.
Yep.
Them, and then also there's this company called Drobo that does like hard drive backup stuff. They're kind of like out of business now. They don't even like, exist.
Oh, really?
But they created their own RAID format that, and like every photographer, videographer was getting on this at the time. And I had put a bunch of stuff on one of them, and it just like once it gets corrupted, there's like nothing you can do because it's its own RAID format that nobody has access to, and they won't like help you with it unless you pay them to like ship you a thing. And then they went out of
Oh, my
business, so they
Lord.
don't even like exist anymore, and you have to pay some super specialist like corporate something. It's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
Yeah, it's insane.
Is Synology like that too?
I don't think so. I think that's like a legit RAID format. I could be wrong.
remember those Drobos were really popular.
They
I
were,
could never
and
afford
they
one,
sucked.
so I never got one.
You lucked out.
I just continue to buy those like cheap Best Buy like USB hard drives.
That's my system now. I've literally got a safe in that closet that has like, I'm not even kidding, like 34 terabyte hard drives.
I lost my place. Zachary Richardson says, "What's y'all's favorite type of salad? Caesar, fruit, egg, tossed, grease. Tossed salads are my favorite salad. You can toss my salad anytime."
Waiting for it.
I was waiting for it. I've had really good salads that mix like savory stuff with fruit, and that's been great. I don't even know what it was. I went to a restaurant. I was like, they just ordered me a salad before I even got there, and it was like some kind of berries with savory stuff. I don't know, but it was great. I don't know what it was, but it was great. I like mixing savory and sweet together.
Those fancy salads with berries in them are always really good.
They're always really good.
Yeah.
I need to look it up. I need to make my own.
McDonald's used to do their salad tossers. Remember that? Where they'd give you a salad that was in like a drink cup. So you could basically like drink your salad while you're driving down the street. Those were cool.
Hey, I got it. I got the ultimate. Greek salad in Greece. So good. There's nothing like
That
it.
makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to Greece. I'm going to find out how good this fucking Greek salad is.
It got to the point where like after I had that I didn't really care about Greek salads before, but now like it's like a monthly thing where I will get all the ingredients to just do it myself because it's so good.
I do like a good Caesar salad, especially when they make it at the restaurant at the side of your table. It's like when you get the guacamole made at the side of the table. It's just fun. You know, it's just like, hey, this is great. Somebody's making my salad right here, and I get to watch it happen.
Or if it's just a really good pizza place that has a good Caesar salad, because that is always amazing.
What are those salads called at the Japanese place?
Oh, like the sesame salads or the ponzu salads? The seaweed salad.
I was really hoping you were just gonna nail one salad. I'd be like, yeah, well, that was the one.
I do really like the ponzu sauce based salads. Those are great because
Yeah.
ponzu is like a citrusy kind of
That
dressing.
sounds like the one. I think that's the one.
It's
That's
probably that one.
delicious.
It's really good. Yeah, I love it. Anytime I get a HelloFresh meal, it's like something with ponzu sauce. I'm like, yeah, I'm picking that one.
Basil says, what is your favorite game from the Dreamcast era? I love Phantasy Star Online. Proud of y'all. And happy Dragon's Dogma 2 Day. They got their own day?
Oh, yeah, it's thing. Yeah.
Dreamcast era.
I'm going to have to just Google Dreamcast games to
one,
jog my memory.
What's oh no, that's Sega, isn't it?
Crazy Taxi.
That was a fun one.
I loved Crazy Taxi. I played Grandia on the Dreamcast as well. I did play Phantasy Star Online.
Grandia 2 made me cry. That might be the first game that ever made me cry.
That was a great video game. I loved that.
I think I gotta pick Power Stone or Power Stone 2. I don't have a preference, both are great.
Yeah, Power Stone's good.
But getting after it with your wang is just so fun. It's the best. If that's one of the Sega just came out with like, oh, we're gonna make all the sequels or like modern updates to games. That's the one that's missing in that list is Power Stone.
It is, yeah.
I feel like that game would do great right now.
It probably would, yeah. Because I was looking through these lists and I was like, oh yeah, there's Jet Set Radio, there's Crazy Taxi, these are all the games that Sega's redoing.
Yep. Sonic is still being made. Yeah, there's a lot of great games in that era.
Yeah.
Tragic. The Dreamcast is tragic.
Oh, the original Super Smash Brothers was in that era? Not console,
sure. Yeah,
but...
that was N64, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff in there.
I'm not sure how to say this. Kamazats, I'm going to go with. Would you guys rather see in Final Shape playable jump ships, player housing, or character dialogue options?
Player housing, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think we're at the point where, like, I just want to earn more things through gameplay that are cosmetic or that I can show off. And then a house would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
Be perfect. I could work my way towards a fancy teapot. And I'd be so excited to do so.
What does playable jump ships mean?
Like you can actually control your ships.
Oh, like Halo 3 style space battles? Okay. Yeah, that's the one I would choose. I would love that. Even if I got to just play a little Galaga for loading screens.
Just give me something to do as I load in.
With my Ecto 1. This guy, Sim, says, I'm bringing this game back from the Planet Destiny days, so here it goes. Each host and guest, if applicable, has to change either a body or a head with another host or guest. What's your choice, and who should get what? A body or a head? I think I would look pretty good with green hair.
You get the whole head. I guess you could maybe you can choose the scalp.
Yeah. Lego, what's your bald spot situation looking like? Pretty clean?
My hair is very thinning.
Changing my answer.
I think I'd choose Mylan's body so I could be a hobbit and just talk about my dumpy all the time.
Useful.
Hobbit dumpy coming through. And I could say that all day. It'd be great.
Fran keeps talking about his workout stuff, so maybe I'll steal his body, and I'd probably ruin it, but
But then you're starting at like a higher point, so you have further to fall, so you can fall for longer.
Yeah,
it'll work out.
Once I wreck that one, I'll give it back. Here, fix this.
He's so strict with his diet ice cream,
right? That he makes himself.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I had ice cream today. It was so good. It was Peanut butter cup ice cream. It was 2 scoops. Peanut butter cup was the first scoop. Banana was the second scoop.
Ooh,
And then hot
that's
fudge.
good.
And then they crushed
Ooh,
ice cream cone on top of it.
Ooh, that's the
that's
best.
good.
It was good.
I'm gonna have some ice cream tonight. I think I got
Yeah?
matcha ice cream and vanilla. Put them together. Delicious.
It does
Mm.
sound
Good
good.
stuff. That's good.
There's this Haagen-Dazs has a flavor that's called caramel cone, and it's like in the carton, but it comes with like somehow ice cream cones like in it, and it is still crunchy. I don't get it. But
I think as
it's
long as they
Wow.
freeze it right away,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They don't have a
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
It's
The
amazing.
cone
That
in
sounds
the
great.
sundae though, that's next
Mhm.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Genius. What do they think of next? These
No,
ice
I want
cream
an
guys?
ice cream cone. I'm gonna have to go buy ice cream cones.
Yeah, ice cream cones are good.
I do like ice cream
Yeah.
cones. I haven't had ice cream cones in so long.
Mohican 9 says, do you drive safer with fast food in your car or a passenger in your car? I mean,
With
definitely a
Bella in my
passenger.
car. I
Passenger
drive
for
safe
sure.
with Bella in the car. Cause like I have her carrier secured, but I know that obviously if I like slam on the brakes, she's gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
whoa. Or if
Oh,
I
yeah.
spin around a corner, she will go not flying out the carrier because it's secured. But yeah, I drive slower with her in the car. Also, she doesn't like it when you go fast because it gets louder.
Yes.
Mm,
My
yeah.
dog,
I
my
try.
cats do not like being in the car at all.
No, I think I would recommend that if anyone gets a cat from a kitten, that you just start driving them in the car,
Yeah.
right from the beginning, and you don't do anything bad. Because like the first time they go in the car is probably to go to the vet.
Bad.
Don't do anything bad. Just take them on a nice drive. Maybe you let them sniff some flowers, and then you go home.
When I
And
was a
you'll be
little
okay.
kid, we had this chocolate lab named Brandy, and we used to drive him all over the place. He loved riding in the car, and we had like an old SUV that was perfect. But he hated going to the car wash. Just freaked him out. The old school
yeah.
car
It's pretty
washes that were
scary.
like boom, boom, boom.
scary.
Like
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And we just thought it was so funny that this dog was absolutely psychologically tortured by the car wash.
That's
And
rough.
now I feel really bad about it because I'm older, but my mother's got no excuse because she was old when
I
it was
know,
happening.
This happened. I think we've all experienced that. Where as a kid, or a younger person, you just don't know, and then you get
Right.
older, and you're like, that was
That was
really bad.
fucked. But
Yeah.
what's your excuse? Because you were fucking 30.
Yep.
Yep. I love how parents are always like, y'all just know so much more than we did back then. It's like, yeah, but like, this is kind of common sense, right?
Yeah,
Like-
right? Yeah. Seriously.
Mr. Goodbye says, would you rather have the Buster Sword available in Eververse? And yes, what element would it be? Or be able to use Gjallarhorn in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
Gjallarhorn would have come in pretty handy.
Yeah, I feel like there's plenty of swords that are basically the Buster Sword in.
That's true. They look kind of similar.
Yeah. But there's no Gjallarhorn in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Yeah. The closest you can get to like something that Barrett does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gjallarhorn and Rebirth, I would say.
Yeah. Last question of the night. Hugo says, when I was in the Air Cadets, I was competing in a swimming gala some 60 miles from where I lived. Rather than driving there, my dad arranged for me to fly in an airplane there and back. What's the most elaborate, over-the-top entrance you've ever made?
Oh, man. I don't think I've made one. I don't know if I've ever made an elaborate entrance. Maybe when I was a kid and this was definitely not elaborate, but you know how you do like school plays and around Christmas it's the whole Bethlehem Jesus story? Well, there's so many kids in the school that they didn't have a role for everyone, so I dressed up as a snowflake.
Was it snowing in the Middle East that day?
Yes, it was. It was wintertime, Christmas, it's snowing. I was there being a snowflake, dancing around, blessing Jesus with snow.
That's amazing.
I feel like anytime that I've like pre-planned an entrance, nobody has been around to see it. Like I'll be like, oh, like maybe I like my car's in for service, so they gave me this fucking awesome car from the dealership as a loaner. So I'm gonna like pull up and like everybody's just see this awesome car, and like everybody's already inside, so they didn't see it. Like it never works out. I can't think of a single time I've had like an over the top entrance.
Yeah,
we had one. It's not like it is like half us, I guess. So we were playing with the band I used to be in the one of the arenas at A&M, and it was like completely packed opening night of this event, and they had us set up like center of the arena, and it was like the audience was like around us, which is amazing. I like that. It's like the best way to play music if you are ever playing with an audience, have them like completely 360 around you. But the idea that they wanted to do for the entrance was the lead singer was going to start a song on a different platform like across the arena, and like he starts singing, and like I still had to count it in on the drums or something. Like it was like very complicated, and like whenever he like done with the chorus, we had to like all slam in, and then the lights would go off of him and onto us, and then he comes down and up onto the stage, and like it sounded
pretty
like
elaborate.
It was elaborate, and but it sounded so cheesy. I was like, "Can we please not do this? Can we please just bring you over here?" And it worked out fine, but it was pretty cheesy. I was like, "I don't know about this," but the actual event was fun though, playing in that arena. But the rest of it was way over the top.
That sounds great. I've learned that I need to make more cool entrances.
Yeah, right? I gotta add that to my repertoire. Yeah. Oh, in high school, we did a talent show, me and my friends, where we sang like a few different songs. One of them was Big Balls. So I went to Burger King and I went to the ball pit and I stole like 2 big duffel bags full of the ball pit bags, ball pit balls. And we were going to throw them out into the audience, and I was going to juggle 3 of them. So I had to learn how to juggle. And then the spotlight like shined on me when the song started. Like it came on while I was juggling. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It felt cool. I don't know how good it looked, but it felt cool. And then we got in trouble for, not for stealing the balls, but for leaving them all over the auditorium.
Understandable.
I kept racking my brain for specifically talent shows, like you were saying, because we like playing music when you're younger. I know I was in tons of different stuff, and I couldn't remember any entrances though. Talent show would have been it though.
Yeah, some kind of doing something on stage would be it for sure.
Yeah. That's the first time I ever dressed in drag was in high school for a talent show. That probably was a good one. I don't remember exactly what I was doing though. I just remember
that probably was
putting
good.
A dress on.
That was probably great.
Felt good.
You were a wrestler in high school, right?
Yeah,
so you're like the wrestler.
When I wrestled though.
that sounds great. Local wrestling hero tries out dresses.
All right, guys. I think that's gonna wrap this one up. A little quick one tonight, but I feel like it was action packed. It was dense.
I feel like there was a lot in there.
Yeah,
there was a lot.
It was thick, like Fran.
If you happen to see a pawn in the wild that's a ginger cat called Belias, that's mine. Please look after her.
Treat it well.
If she comes back being like, I was with an arisen who was terrible to me, I will be very angry.
Can you like leave messages for the next person that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So
you can leave ratings and you can leave like a gift, and you do have the option of leaving like a rotten potato or something. So if you give no rating and send back a rotten potato, I think that means it probably wasn't a very good time.
That's funny.
But they will just like talk among each other and be like, the last arisen I was with only hired Beastrin or something like that. Like they keep commenting on the fact that like, now if I could speak out of turn, I do believe we are a band of women. Like, we are all women. That is true.
It's funny how you noticed that.
Like, okay.
Again and again and again.
And then my pawn's just like, and what's wrong with that? And then they don't say anything. I don't know. Maybe they don't like it. They need some men in the group.
Mm-hmm.
They're all cats. I don't know what they're talking about.
Cats are horny. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Where Fran would have played
Fran...
Dragon's Dogma because we're going to bully him into doing it. If you see Fran out there streaming in the wild, bully him into playing Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Fran's going to love this game. I got a feeling.
He's going to wait until 7 years down the road, and then he'll play it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he hates happiness. He hates being happy and he hates success. I don't know what's wrong with him.
We'll ask him next week.
Fran's actually doing a really cool thing at GDC. He's presenting something with Morla.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, he's with Morla presenting stuff. Really cool. I'm excited to hear about that, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Next week.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.